Welcome to Shots. My name is Rogerio and I will be your host. Beside me, I have my co-host and camera expert, Benji. Shots is a photography show for beginners where we teach you the basics of shooting. Like a famous songwriter once said, shots, 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 everybody. So Benji, what do you have for us today?
Today we're going to be talking about the three basic elements of exposure. That is shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. All these three elements are related in that they determine how light or dark your image is, and there's also a few side effects that we're going to go into detail on. All cameras, whether it's a camera phone like this or a digital camera like this, use these three elements in capturing images.
Alright, so let's jump into shutter speed.
When you're taking a shot, shutter speed refers to the amount of time that your camera sensor is exposed to light. So a longer shutter speed means that your image is going to be lighter, while a shorter shutter speed means that your image is going to be darker. One of the side effects that we've mentioned is that a longer shutter speed captures motion. So if you're at a sporting event and you want to get a clean, crisp shot, you're going to want to have a shorter shutter speed so that you don't get that motion.
So what's ISO all about?
ISO refers to the camera's compensation for light. So a higher ISO is going to give you a lighter image, but you're also going to get some grain. That could ruin your image. As a rule of thumb, you want to shoot with the lowest possible ISO for the situation, and only bump it up if you need to.
Aperture sounds interesting. Tell me a little something about that.
Well, aperture refers to the amount of light that's let into the camera through the lens. As you widen your aperture, more light's let in, but less things are in focus. And as you close your aperture, less light is let in, but more things are in focus. So if you're looking to isolate your subject, you want to use a wider aperture so that your background is blown out a little bit more. Whereas if you want to have a flatter image, you want to use a closed off aperture.
Thanks for tuning in to our first episode of Shots. Tune in to our next episode where we'll be covering the basics of camera equipment.